When you're looking at a replacement canopy for your ShelterLogic gazebo, the first thing you probably wonder is, who is this actually good for? Who should skip it? And is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? If you're the type of person who's already set up a ShelterLogic frame, knows the quirks of outdoor shading, and just wants a fresh piece of fabric without buying a whole new kit, you're in the right place. If, on the other hand, you're still debating whether to invest in a new gazebo versus a simple umbrella, you might want to pause and think about whether a cover replacement solves your problem. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Now, let's talk about why a replacement cover feels like a small, but surprisingly significant decision. Most of us have been there. You've put together a ShelterLogic 10 by 20 gazebo for a backyard party, a craft fair, or a weekend market. The frame is solid, the poles lock in place, and the shade looks great until a sudden storm, or a gust of wind tears a seam, or a corner gets ripped. At that point you're faced with a choice: patch it up with tape, or a temporary fix, or replace the entire canopy. The replacement cover kit promises a brand new, tan-colored fabric that snaps back onto the same frame you already own. It sounds simple, but the reality of buying a cover involves more than just checking the dimensions on a spec sheet. One practical strength of this kit is its exact fit. The 10 by 20 by 8 size matches the dimensions of the ShelterLogic 62680 and 32680 models exactly, so you won't waste time fiddling with adjustments. Most buyers who have already bought the original cover know that the tension on the fabric is critical. Too loose and the canopy flaps in the wind, too tight, and you risk pulling the seams apart. The replacement kit comes pretensioned in a way that mirrors the original, which means you can reinstall it with the same zip-type fastening system you used the first time. For someone who enjoys swapping the cover seasonally, maybe swapping a dark tan for a brighter white in the summer, the ease of reinstalling the same size is a real time saver. Another upside is the material weight. At 14.5 ounces, the fabric is light enough to handle without needing additional help, yet heavy enough to provide some resistance against rain. In real-world use, that balance shows up when you're trying to quickly cover your gazebo after an unexpected drizzle. You can pull the new cover over the frame in under a minute, and the weight helps it stay in place without extra guy lines, which is a feature many people only notice when they've had to wrestle with heavier canvas that drags to the ground. However, the kit does have a few hidden trade-offs that deserve a mention. First, there's absolutely no mention of UV coating on the fabric. If your gazebo lives in a sunny backyard that sees 8+ hours of direct sun daily, the lack of a UV-resistant layer can lead to fading faster than you'd expect. The tan color will darken or bleach over time, especially on the side that faces the sun most often. For a casual user who sets up the gazebo a few times a month for events, this may not be a deal-breaker, but for someone who plans to keep the shade up for weeks on end during summer, you might find the color looking more like a sun-bleached straw after a season. Another practical weakness is the lack of a built-in waterproof seal. The cover seams are sewn, but there's no taped or welded seam reinforcement. In windy conditions like the ones that caused the original cover to tear, water can seep through any small gap that opens up as the fabric flexes. Users have reported that, during heavy rain, the interior of the gazebo can get damp if the seams aren't perfectly aligned. The kit does include a small set of seam protectors, but they are not enough to guarantee a watertight seal under prolonged downpours. If you're looking for a truly all-weather solution, you may need to purchase additional rain guards or consider a higher-grade waterproof top. Now, let's dissect who should actually consider buying this replacement cover. If you already own the compatible ShelterLogic frame and are simply replacing a torn or faded fabric, this kit is a logical, cost-effective answer. It saves you the expense of buying a whole new gazebo, which can run upwards of $300 to $500. For DIY-oriented homeowners who enjoy a hands-on approach to maintenance, the kit offers a straightforward swap that doesn't demand professional installation. You'll also find value in the fact that the tan color is fairly neutral, blending well with most garden palettes, and not clashing with outdoor furniture. On the flip side, if you're a first-time buyer still deciding between a ShelterLogic gazebo and a cheaper pop-up canopy, you might want to skip this kit and buy a full package instead. The whole set includes the frame, the original cover, and the necessary stakes and tied owns. Buying the replacement cover separately means you're committing to